So thank you for showing the video. What we're going to look at now for a moment is what is Canada's role in creating these emissions. So the first slide that's up is from 2017, and that's showing emissions per capita in each country. You can see that Canada is like red, as all of North America is, which means that it's high emissions per capita, very high emissions per capita, and 15 tons and up. You can see that the African countries' emissions are barely visible. Very, very little. So one estimate I've heard is that Canadians on average cause 50 times the emissions of the average Kenyan. I'm sure most Canadians do not realize this, but it has very big implications for parts of the world that are not causing the emissions. Knowing this, you would think we'd be taking steps to end our reliance on fossil fuels and to stop expansion of the industry. So the next slide is disturbing. So on this slide, you can see oil and gas expansion that's planned over the next 5 years. And you can see that it's concentrated in the central west areas of the US and Canada, including the tar sands. Next slide, please. So on this temperature graph, you can see where we are, and we're getting dangerously close to the 1.5 Paris Agreement goal. And we know that warming continues on from what we have put in the atmosphere already today. So we really need to be acting quickly, because otherwise we are going into dangerous levels of warming. And you can see that the best contribution that we can make is to stop fossil fuel development and fossil fuel subsidies and convert as quickly as possible to renewables and conservation. To keep that temperature rise to 1.5 requires cuts in emissions of 7% per year, each year for the next decade to 2030. Next slide, please. If we fail to stop temperature rise, desertification across the sub-arid regions will get much worse by 2040, causing extreme food shortages, water stress, and mass migration. We can't let it get this bad. So what kind of climate action can the wealthy countries come up with? Wealthy countries have made a long-standing promise to raise $100 billion per year in climate finance starting in 2020. Canada's share is $4 billion per year. We have yet to learn if these funds are going to be forthcoming at this time of COVID, but they're urgently needed to help countries skip fossil fuel dependence, going directly to renewables, and to help countries adapt to the climate change that is already taking place. In addition to government assistance, it is really important for grassroots connections to be there, from communities in Canada to communities in Africa. This is what we are building in this partnership with Africa Climate Action Initiative as part of Canada-Africa Partnership. So here's an opportunity to get involved. Thanks to generous donors, $500 contribution tonight, your contribution will be doubled to help us get this fund started. Please donate now. Thank you.